you. All of you who are just up here on the stage, thank you so much. Thank you so much for putting this on. Thank you for your hearts, for every person here, for them to be free, for them to be healed, for them to encounter Jesus. Thank you. Can we give it up for them right now? Coming together, uniting. This is beautiful, and this is God's heart. This heart of unity. Hallelujah. I am so I'm my dream prayers. I was pursuing media cider. What about the music? Can you prophesy about my dream? But the second thing was extremely shocked, because I'll tell you this, I knew it was God speaking. I knew it. And lead millions and stutter and give you the words to speak. You don't need to worry. So God spoke to me in that moment that this is what's happening right now. I'm like Moses in this moment. I don't think I can speak, but God will give me the words to say. God will give me the ability to do what he's called me to do. So I obeyed God, because that's all I wanted to do, was to be in God's will and obey him and please him. So I put aside the music and I obeyed him. And it was not easy. God called me to start a church, Fivefold Church in LA 9 months later. And it was so uncomfortable getting up there to preach. I would hear the devil's voice saying, you're not a good preacher, you're not touching people, you're not blessing people, people won't come back. I would hear that in my voice constantly, but I knew that God called me to do this. So I just kept stepping up and doing it anyway. And the first year we had about 20 people in the church. That first year, that same prophet prophesied that God has heard America's prayers for revival. For so many years, there's been 24-hour prayer sessions, rooms, and there's been huge prayer conferences, and he's heard them. And he's answering them now. And revival is now for America. It's starting in California, it's spreading across America, and then it will reach the whole world. Hallelujah. This was prophesied a few years ago. And when I heard that prophecy, I knew it was God speaking. And I felt convicted by God to keep speaking this word. Keep this word alive. Keep declaring it. And not let it fall. So I kept speaking at the church. We kept speaking. Chantal, our worship leader, she's kept declaring it as well. Revival is now. The first year there was 20 people in our church. The second year there's 15. We're declaring revivals now. The third year, her dad in the congregation. Sometimes nobody. We'd still say revivals now to the live stream with probably just a couple viewers, if any. The next year, 5 people in the church. Side note, God was taking me through a wilderness refining fire season. That's what that was all about. So 5 people. Then there's just 2 of us doing online for a little bit. Then God says, I'm moving outside of the box. Take church outside of the park. Hallelujah. So then we started church services in the park. We called it Revival in the Park from the beginning. And then we kept declaring, revivals now. And there was 2 people there the first service, her mom, her mom's friend, Chantal's mom, and her mom's friend. And then there would be 5 people, then there would be 0, then there would be 10, then there would be 3. Then there'd be 20, then there'd be just 2 of us, depending on the week. We kept declaring, I'm going to sing that song. And meanwhile, a few years prior to 20, a couple years prior to 2020, God, people are going to be reached. I taught myself how to edit, and I started spending so many hours making these videos and posting them on every social media platform. 2020, I got a prophetic word. It was just once in a while. It didn't look like revival, but we surprised. I was shocked. I was shocked because only one time had someone testified of receiving a miracle while watching a video of me ministering, and that was just 2 months prior. I went live every single day during the COVID times, from March to October, every single day. Sometimes there'd be 0 watching. That was just 2020. One video, thousands. God is so faithful to his promises. He is so faithful. God told me it was going to be like going around the walls of Jericho. One day he's going to make the walls come down if you just obey. You just keep going forth. No matter what it looks like. It didn't look, no bricks were falling one by one. It looked silly and foolish. But in the spiritual realm, they were getting closer and closer. Every step mattered. Every step of obedience mattered. Added up till one day, God made the walls to fall down. So then I started going live twice a week, every week, and now all of a sudden miracles are happening on every live. We still had our church services. There were just 5 or 10 people in January of 2021. Now we're getting hungry. When are we going to see revival in the park? When are we going to see it here, not just online? Well, on May 21st, a girl used to come encounter Jesus in power. Used to come encounter Jesus in power and be set free. Still in the park, Malaysia. Somebody came from and a family came from Poland. And a family came from Poland. Sunday come to fire service. And then August, this hunger erupted across the country to break out in people's cities and states, and freedom, deliverance, and come